Right now, we are picking back up from part 1 where Natra killed Leon, and so now everything is up in the air. We don't know how Natra is going to be punished, if he's going to be punished, how will the king and the people react to Leon's death. Yes, and we're going to start with that right now. Okay, Leon's death marked the beginning of a whole different era for Natra and his friends and the dynasty, in the sense that Natra did something so reckless and irreversible that he can no longer be considered like a kid or a good person. And it's not something that can be overlooked either. Even though he saved the nation by defeating the giant, there's repercussions. The Dragon Emperor, dad of Leon, he is not happy, and every day since Leon died, it has been raining endlessly, not just a light little drizzle outside, but heavy rain and flood. It affects any and everyone. It affects the plants, the farming, the products, the produce, the people. Even just stepping outside is dangerous. That's how crazy the rain is. So the king, even though he likes Naja, he has to punish him. And in front of all the officials, Naja refused to admit that he was wrong. He said that dragon deserved to die. The minute that I saw him, I've been wanting to kill him. I ain't like him from the start. And you know what? It's a good thing that I killed him. I am not repenting. I do not feel sorry whatsoever for killing that bastard. Before the official, the emperor asked General Lee, okay, this is your son. How do you want to deal with him? Death penalty or life in prison? You decide. And the father, of course, being heartless and patriotic, he said, kill that bastard. He said, kill that bastard. Okay? And so Najjar was like, I am not accepting your punishment. What did I do wrong? And he ran away. And all the officials who are like veterans warrior, like very strong warriors, are like running after him and attacking him, fighting him one on one. And they lost. And sometimes they tag team to fight him and they still lose. The final trick up their sleeve, they had this enchanted tower and they locked him in there. So they decided to kill him on a very specific like holiday. But Mama Lee was like, please let me see my son. Let me see my son. That's all I want to do. She begged every individual in the household because the owner of the Golden Tower is her family, General Lee and Foxy Baby. She begged so tearfully that the brothers, Najjar brothers, and other generals were also down on her knees. They joined her on their knees to ask General Lee, okay, for some leniency and let her see her son. But the general, he was like, he wants to, but being so hard headed, he can't bring himself to say yeah. So the queen is a childhood friend of Mama Lee, and she's a mother as well, so she understood Mama Lee's heart. So she granted Mama Lee the permission to see Najjar. It's very heartbreaking to see Mama Lee on her knees because if you understand anything about the Chinese culture, there's this hierarchy. Um, there's this hierarchy. Parents are very important. Husband, wives, there's like order within wives. And she actually knelt down to Fox in front of Foxy Baby and asked her for permission. Foxy Baby should be on the low end of the hierarchy, okay? Because not only is she the second wife, but she bears no children for the family. So also, I want to add at this time, General Lee is totally in love with Foxy Baby. If you watch and you see how stubborn he is with Mama Lee, he always have to be right about everything. But with Foxy Baby, he's just like, yeah, 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 yeah. Like, I guess the emperor is right. No man is strong in face of beauty. The person who has the key to the golden temple is Foxy Baby. And Mama Lee saw her on the street, so she just beat her up to pieces and then stole the key and she ran to open the door into the golden pagoda. And once inside, she grabbed her son and then made a run for it. And the whole time he was calling her, bitch, let me go. Why are you taking me, bitch? He calls his mom a bitch. And so his friends also call her a bitch. But you know what? I'm not against that because not every mom is a good mom, and I completely understand where he's coming from. He's coming from a place of hurt. You know, he loved his mom, but his mom abandoned him, so he's gonna hurt her in any way that he can. like maybe not physically, but mentally, if calling you a bitch hurt, then you're a bitch. While Mama Lee was running away with Najah, she just had enough of him. She grabbed, like, the closest stick that she found, and she just started whooping his ass. And it was the first and last time that she whooped him. She was like, "How dare you be so rude and mean to your mother? How dare you call me this? How it's my fault that I didn't teach you. That's why you don't know any better. That's why you went around hurting people. That's why you killed Leon. You're just a bad person, and it's my fault." And she's whooping him so much. You, from head to toe, you are my child, okay? You can never get rid of me, no matter where you go or who you think you are. She was just like, "Ooh, ooh." But even though she was the one yelling at him and hitting him, I can see the way that the actress is portraying it, that she's hurt as a mother. After she beats him up, they both separated. And during that time of separation, he committed self-harm. Even though he acts like he doesn't care about his mom, he's always mean to her. He remembered every single word that she said to him, head to toe, that he's hers. All right, he's gonna give it back to her. In the show, he ripped himself apart, pieces to pieces, and placed it in a box. Okay, and he wrote a letter. Go return this back to my parents. I owe them absolutely nothing. And I know that people probably think that Naja is very stubborn, reckless, obnoxious, but I completely understand him. I understand every single hurt that he experiences. Is that crazy? I think his frustration is very I think his frustration with his parents are very valid. No one took the time to actually explain stuff to him. He was abandoned as a kid, and he grew up on a mountain with two other kids, and they had completely no social skills until they had completely no social skills until they were adults, and they descend the mountain. Once they descend the mountain, everyone treated them like they're freaking weirdos. The only sense of uh, hope or justice that he has is that his prophecy to become a great general. So Najah died by his own hands, but his ghosts keep haunting his best friend with Three Eye. And at this time, Three Eye is at Marie's household as a servant. Um, Lotus, Mama Lee, and Three Eye reunited to help Najah reincarnate. Najah's ghost haunt Three Eye all day long. But Three Eye couldn't see him. The only person that could see him is Marie. Mama Lee, Three Eye, and Lotus ask Marie for help to communicate with Najah, and Najah keeps saying three words. Najah keeps saying 3 years, 3 years. Mama Lee didn't understand what 3 years could possibly mean. Oh, and Najah Ghost is actually scary. Najah Ghost is actually scary to me. While I was watching this drama, it was like late at night and his ghost just popped out of nowhere. And Najah doesn't have like the nicest face, like he has that mean face, that I'm gonna kill you face. And his ghost was like always dripping wet with water because he died when it was like because he died when it was raining. Marie's mom stepped in and was like, I know a person that can possibly help your son. He lives in a mountain and he really, really don't like people. So you're going to have a hard time. On top of that, this master hates people that self-harm themselves. Oh, yeah. So Mama Lee begged this master to help save her son. And every single time he would like kick her flying in the air, but she would keep coming back. Due to her sincerity, he gave in and agreed to help Najah. He put Najah's spirit in this plant, and when this plant grow after 3 years, that's when Najah will be reincarnated as a new person. During these 3 years, Nacha has to behave and stay at the shrine that they built for him. Also, he has to repent, and in doing so, he has to forgive his mom. And it's so sweet. Like if you follow the whole entire story, their whole relationship is just so rough. There's never an easy day. So during this period, it was seeing the mother-son relationship is so sweet. She's finally able to be around her son and take care of him like she always wanted. Also, he's finally able to accept her love instead of just like trying to push her away out of frustration and hurt. I'm a really empathetic person, so I don't know if you guys like me telling the story from that kind of perspective where I'm just empathizing with all the villains. Okay, so during this period of 3 years back in the Imperial City, General Lee and Foxy Baby were ordered by the king to find these two beauties, okay, that he saw. He saw a vision of them in the freaking desert, okay? In this desert, you know how there's like an oasis, and sometimes you get like visions of like water, but he saw a vision of two very beautiful women. So he sent General Lee and Foxy Baby go find these two beautiful women. The emperor was like, you know what? They're so beautiful. I want to come to the desert every single day so I could look at how beautiful they are. So General Lee was like, come on, man, you have a job to do, okay? And the emperor was so offended. He was like about to chop his head off, and Foxy Baby stepped in, and Foxy Baby was like, no, 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 no. We're gonna find them for you. We're gonna find them for you so you don't have to visit desert every single day. 3 years mark is over. Naja has finally, like sort of recovered. He's reincarnated, but he has a plant-based body. Okay, it wasn't bones and flesh. That requires a little bit more energy and training. So once he's recovered to a certain point, he he and Three Eye. He and Three Eye. You know what? Three Eye is hard to say. I'm gonna call him Cyclops. He and Cyclops, okay, join the army. Because Najat conclusively wants to be a general, and Three Eye or Cyclops wants to bring back honor to his fort. Wants to bring back honor because Cyclops has a wife, and she was originally like a princess, a very beautiful young mistress, and she gave up all her riches to be with him. Even her dad disowned her for marrying Cyclops. Marie. Marie is her name. Cyclops is thinking if he complete his service in the military and he comes back a hero, the dad will finally accept him as son-in-law, and Marie can reunite with her dad. General Lee and Foxy Baby found the two beauties. Let's say they're on the west side of the dynasty, and they were daughters of this grand general. And the emperor was like, I want to marry your daughter. Bring him to me. And the grand general has come General Iroh. General Iroh was like, no, I love my daughter. I don't want to give them to you. Why should I? So the emperor actually started a civil war, okay? Again, a civil war. It was the East against the West, just for two women. One of the emperor's leader in the army was Foxy Baby, and he gave her like a sword. If General Iroh refused to give me his daughter, here's a sword. Decapitate him for me. Handle it. And she was like, okay, Foxy Baby is always down for um, mischief. That's what I like about her. Like she doesn't give a fuck about being the nice person in the room. And it's like it's not like she had any like crazy backstory that made her evil. She just is, and I feel like that's some of the good villain they're just like that, they're just crazy. Yeah, I think someone could be born crazy. So in the West Army for the Emperor is Foxy Baby and Natja's two brothers. And in the West, in the East, is General Iroh, Natja, his friend, and Mama Lee. There was a part of the battle that was actually funny, the East versus West, and Natja being still very fragile because he's plant-based. He hid his arm in his shirt, and he went to Mama Lee and he said, Foxy Baby chopped off my arm. I'm so hurt. I'm hurt. I'm hurt. I'm hurt. And Cyclops was also like, oh yeah, she stabbed my eye. I'm hurt. I'm hurt. So Mama Lee went into Mama Bear mode, and she beat up Foxy Baby. She pulled her from her horses to the ground and slapped the funny, any silliness out of her. It was like, you hurt my baby, blah, 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 blah. It was funny because funny. Even Natra and his friends were like laughing in the background. So it was two female commander fighting, and obviously Mama Lee won. So Foxy Baby ran off like a pussy that she is. Actually, no, she ran off with honor, I would say. She retreated with her army. But back at General Iroh's place, um, his daughters, Pretty Betty, and let's call her Pretty Betty and Abby. Pretty Betty was asked, telling her dad, "Why don't you just send us to the Imperial City? It's not like I have a lover or anything. If we keep fighting, only the citizens are going to be hurt." So General Iroh, even though he loves his daughter, he agrees with Pretty Betty, and eventually he surrendered his daughter over to the tyrannical emperor. Once they're in the palace, the two sisters, they stick very close together, and they made promises that no matter who gets the king's love, they will always put their sisterhood first. Pretty Betty, from the very start, I want to say that she's a nice individual. She doesn't want to hurt anybody. She doesn't care about anything. She's just fascinated with the world around her, and she want to learn more. But because of her prophecy, her dad usually shelters her and stops her from learning anything. And her prophecy is that she's gonna destroy the nation. It's very similar to Najah. So both of them, Pretty Betty and Najah, have a prophecy that they're going to destroy the nation. Are you going to team up? I don't know. I don't know. Once in the palace, you see people attacking Pretty Betty from all angles. The officials didn't like her because of her prophecy. They just want the emperor to annihilate her as soon as possible. The the emperor's wives didn't like her because they were jealous, or she was getting so much attention. There was a civil war because of her. So they conspire against her. Every single time the emperor would go close to her, there would be a protest. And eventually the emperor gives up and locks Pretty Betty in this side of the palace where no one comes and goes. So it was just Pretty Betty, beautiful Pretty Betty, alone in the side of this palace. And in her court, even her sister doesn't come and visit her. And she knows that her sister is being loved by the king. And during this time, an evil consort came over and told her there's a ghost in her place. Like, like that is just so scary. I'm not too much of a horror person, so I completely understand why Pretty Betty will become an evil person after this and try to kill everyone, okay? But that is it for part 2. I will try to work on part 3. You guys made it to this part of the video. Thank you so much for watching or listening. I hope you guys enjoyed the story that I picked out, and I will work more to bring you guys more loving and funny stories.